Now, the long questions, so answered really well. I suppose the one thing I'd just say here is you can't just put in 0.25 and presume you'll get 23, okay? You have to do it the log methods where we don't know what b is and we're trying to find it, okay? So just be careful of that. Some people lost marks on that, okay? Very straightforward here. You're just putting it into the formula. And then this was very like the first part of the question where you knew there was 50 students and you wanted to find the time. So you're using logs to answer it. And finally, there was the function, okay? Very straightforward question, but they do come up. Trigonometry then. So you were looking for BE. So I looked at the triangle BEC, drew it here. And you can see 48, there's opposite, there's hypotenuse. I used my ratios, okay, 2.16. Then I was looking for ADF, so I looked at the triangle ADF. See the way I knew all three sides? It wasn't right angled, okay, but I did know the side opposite the angle I was looking for, and I was able to use the cosine rule here. Okay, so I just had to take my time and work my way around the cosine rule. Finally, I was looking for EF. So if we go back up, EF is this one, right? But I need to know F to B, because I have BE. So if I take away BE from FB, I can find it. Now, I know that half of BF is 1.8. So my goal here is to find BD. Right. So you can see here down, I knew that that was 123 from the question above. So I know this angle is 53. So I had the right angle triangle here where it was the bottom half of this, 2.4. I found it to be 1.307. So the whole lot from there to there was 3.11, and I took 2.16 away from it, and I got my 0.95. So 28 days after that, so you had to put it in. Remember, if you're finding the cost of it, pi is 180, okay, or else you're using radians. And don't forget, it was 3.5 was your answer, but it's 3.5 thousand. Okay, good answer there. Now, find the largest number of visitors. So the largest number of visitors is when this value up here, the cost of all of this is -1, because that will make this positive, because the cost doesn't exist for anything smaller than -1. So it doesn't work. So that's why that had to be -1, which will give you your 7.4 thousand. And then the date which this occurred, well, if you knew that the cost of pi over 84t is -1, you had to work your way backwards, finding cos inverse of -1, which was pi, which is 180. The pi's cancelled. You were left with 1 over 84t is equal to 1. So t is equal to 84, which is the 8th of July. Remember the formula, guys, for the period is always 2 pi over this up here. Okay, so pi over 84. So 2 pi multiplied by 84 over pi left you with 168. And the range goes from the highest value to the lowest value. So the midline went to 4.8 and it went up 2.6 and down 2.6. So my range is 7.4. The reason this cosine graph is the opposite way as opposed to like this, which is what we're used to, is because of this minus sign here. So if that's minus, it turns the graph upside down. Okay. Finally, there was a bit of difficulty here, okay, but find the two dates when the approximately 3.8. So just be careful here. Because it's 1000, it's 3.851, and this is just a trig equation. So you can see here I took away 4.8, I divided by minus 2.6, and I got the cost of pi over 84t is equal to this. Then I use my cast. Okay, so be careful. The full period of this graph is 168 all the way around. So I found that the cost inverse of this, okay, give me 1.197. I divided by pi over 84. Now that's 3.14 there, because I'm not finding an angle of it. And I ended up with t is equal to 32. So from 0 up here to 32. Remember, this period of this graph is 168. So 168 minus 32 give me 36. Okay, because they were the two areas where cost was positive. Rate differentiates, so the 4.8 disappears. Minus 2.6 cost goes to 2.6 sine. Pi over 84t times pi over 84. And then you put in your 126. Okay, and then it decreases by 97.24 per day. So this question was not answered really, I suppose, at all across the board. So find BC, the radius of the cone. So look, I was making right angle triangle. First thing I looked at was maybe CA, but I didn't know A to B. But then I looked at COB, and I knew that CB was what I was looking for. I knew that OB was the radius of the sphere, which was 12, and I was told that OC was X. So I found a connection between X and BC, and I just used Pythagoras' theorem. Show that the volume of the cone is equal to this. Well, the volume of a cone is pi r squared h. Okay, and remember the radius of the cone is BC. So now you have BC is pi is the square root of 144 minus x squared, and then obviously h is the height of the cone. So O to A is 12, and then O to C is x. The reason this answer doesn't look as simple maybe as what it works out is because they have factorized it. So if you factorize 144 minus x squared, you get, it's a difference of two squares, you get 12 plus x and 12 minus x. You wouldn't have lost a lot of marks for that. Okay, and then obviously you have 12 plus x by 12 plus x, which is 12 plus x squared. Maximum, differentiated. So what I did here was, I used this, even if I didn't get it, I used this, volume of the cone. I multiplied everything out, and I got this. Then I differentiated it, and I got I got pi over 3 times 144 minus 24x minus 3x squared. Now, if you divide by pi over 3, 0 divided by pi over 3 is gone. Then I divided the whole equation by 3. Okay, I ended up with my quadratic, and I got minus 12 and 4. That's the max value of x. Minus 12 doesn't work because 12 minus 12 gives you 0 in here, so it has to be 4. And then it looked for the max volume, so I had to put 4 back in for x into the volume formula. Okay. Finally, last question. Okay, it wanted you to show the internal surface area of the trough is equal to that. Well, right, internal surface area. So you had this here, a water trough. Okay. Right, and actually when I was looking at the solutions, I forgot that it's a water trough, which means there's no top on it, so I didn't need that there. Okay, so it was made up of a rectangle on the other side, and two triangles. Now, I couldn't find the area of the triangle until I found the perpendicular height here, and the only reason I can do that is because this is an isosceles triangle. So 4x and 4x, I used Pythagoras' theorem here, and I got 3x. So the area of the triangle was half the base, which is 8x, by 3x, which is the area, which is 12x squared. And then you multiply that by 2 because you have two triangles, and you get 24x squared. The area of this triangle up here is the length of the triangle, the rectangle is the length of the triangle here, which is 5x times L. Now, obviously, it doesn't want L. Okay, there's no L in this. So I was told that the capacity was 112.5. And how do you get that? The capacity of a uniform cross-section like this, okay, a prism, is the area of the shaded surface by L. So I knew that 24x squared times L is 112500 centimeters cubed. So I had to change liters to centimeters there. So L was equal to 112500 over 25x squared. And I was able to substitute that in then for the area of this triangle here, or rectangle here. So I didn't need this. I didn't need that. So when you tidy this all up and divide by 24, you end up with 93750 over x. Finally, use your value to find as a minimum. So even if you didn't get this, you differentiate it. Okay, minimum, differentiate. So notice the way I've rewritten it as 24x squared plus 93750 times x to the power minus 1. Okay. Differentiate that, you get 48x minus 9375. So you bring down the power in front, which makes it a minus. You reduce the power by 1. And then I brought the x minus 2 back down again. How do I get rid of an x squared? I multiply everything by x squared. And I ended up with 48x cubed minus 93750. Bring the 93750 across. Divide by 48. You get this. And then the cubed root of it, you end up with 12.5 centimeters.